Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. On today's video, we shall be looking at 50 tax exemptions and reliefs under the new Tax Reform Act that's going to be effective from 1st of January 2026. But before we dive into today's video, let me quickly introduce myself to you. So my name is Joyce Obiako. I'm a chartered accountant with over 10 years of experience working in finance, accounting, tax, and banking industries. I've worked with different private sectors. I've worked with the government as a tax consultant for the state government, and I've also worked with multinationals, including Canadian and US companies. So I bring to you 10 years of quality global finance. Today's video, I'll be reading out a list of 50 tax exemptions and reliefs that definitely will benefit the masses under this new tax reform law, which is effective from 1st of January 2026. Now, this 50 list was actually released by the Presidential Policy and Tax Reform Committee. So you should know that my source is an authenticated. Let's look at some of these. Let's look at fully into these 50 tax exemptions. So I'll try to explain some, but I might not explain all, because if I want to start explaining each of them, this video might go longer than I want it to be. So but feel free to ask questions in the video, in the comments down below. Just feel free to ask whatever questions you may have, and I'll be glad to read through your comments and answer your questions. And you can also send me an email on joycegold225@gmail.com, to be written down here in the description box somewhere. Okay, let's get into it. First on the list is the personal income tax, or payee. Now, individuals that are earning the national minimum wage are actually exempted from paying taxes. Now, what is the national minimum wage? 70,000 naira and below. So if you earn 70,000 naira and below, so you are exempted from paying personal income tax, or payees. You're actually exempted from that. Number two, annual gross income of up to 1.2 million naira, which will now give you about 800,000 naira of a taxable income. So you are actually paying 0% of taxes. Number three, reduced payee for those earning annual gross income of up to 20 million naira. So now, what does this mean? Looking at the old tax reform, the one that we're actually currently using, if you're earning up to 20 million now, you actually pay more compared to this new tax reform, which will be effective from 1st of January 2026. So you're actually paying less than the previous one. So if you earn up to like 20 million naira, you're actually paying lesser compared to the previous tax reform. Okay, number four, gifts. Now, if someone gives you gifts, those gifts that you receive, they are actually exempted for you to pay your taxes from them. Now, what are the other allowable deductions and reliefs for individuals? Some of the allowable deductions and reliefs we have for individuals are so number 5 on this list now is pension contribution to PFA. So if you have your pension contributions, you don't pay taxes on them. They are allowable deductions. You have to deduct it from your income before we can ascertain your taxable. Other deductions and reliefs: National Health Insurance Scheme. Number 7, National Housing Fund contributions. Number 8, interest on loans for owner-occupied residential housing. Number 9, life insurance or annuity premiums. Number 10 reliefs up to 20% annual term relief of up to 500,000 naira. So let's say your annual rent is 1 million naira, so you have 20% tax relief of that, or 500,000, whichever is less. So you don't get to pay, you have to reduce that from your income. So it's actually a very good one. So now my rent that I pay, I can now claim up to 500,000 naira to be deducted from my income before I can ascertain what my taxable income is. Okay, next is pension gratuities. They are exempted from you paying taxes on them. So pension funds and assets under the Pension Reform Act, they are tax exempted. Pension gratuity or any retirement benefits granted in line with the PRA is tax exempted. Compensation for loss of employment up to 50 million naira is tax exempted. So let's say you lose your job and then you're compensated for up to 50 million, and you actually don't pay taxes on it. So it's actually a good one. Now, capital gains tax exemptions. Sale of, that is number 14 on the list now, sale of owner occupied house is actually tax exempted. Number 15, personal effects or charlets worth up to 5 million naira, they are tax exempted. Like I said, each of these listed items, anyone you don't understand, please feel free to ask in the comment section and I would reply. I'll explain what it means personally to you. 16, sale of up to 2 private vehicles per year. 17, gains on shares below 150 million per year or gains of up to 10 million naira, you don't pay taxes. And then gains on shares above exemption threshold if the proceed is reinvested. Number 19, pension funds, charity and religious institutions, non-commercials. You don't pay taxes on them. Let's say you give you receive charity, or you're in a religious institution like churches, you know, they don't pay capital gains, but the employees of, you know, those churches, they actually pay personal income tax. Yes, the pastors, as long as they are on the salaries, and the employees, they pay what is known as personal income tax. Now, company income tax that are exempted: small companies with turnover of 100 million naira and fixed asset of 250 million naira, you pay zero tax. Yes, you actually pay zero tax. 21, eligible startups are exempted. 22, compensation reliefs, 50% additional deduction for salary increases, wage awards, or transport subsidies for low income workers. Now, these are tax exempted. Employment relief, 50% deduction for salaries of new employees hired and retained for at least 3 years. These are tax exempted. Tax holiday for the first 5 years for agricultural business, crop production, livestock, dairy, etc. So let's say you're into agriculture, productions, and all of that. So for the first 5 years of, you know, you're actually tax exempt. So you're on tax holiday for that first 5 years. Gains from investments in a labeled startup by venture capitalists, private equity, fund accelerators, or incubators, tax exempted. Development levy exempt. Small companies are exempted from 4% development levy. So who is a small company? Small company, like I said, with turnover of less than 100 million naira, you are classified as a small company. Now, withholding tax exempt. Small companies, manufacturers, and agribusiness are exempted from withholding tax deduction on their income. So, you know, prior to now, there's what we call withholding taxes, whereby, you know, it's a way of some of these suppliers, like some of your creditors, they deduct this amount, this withholding taxes from your income. So now the government is saying, okay, the withholding taxes should no longer be deducted. 28, small companies are exempted from deductions on their payments to suppliers. Yes, let's say you want to pay your suppliers, you no longer have to withhold taxes from your suppliers. So you don't withhold taxes now, it's tax exempted. Because so you as a small company, you're not to withhold tax, and they're also not to withhold taxes from your monies. Now, value added tax as 0% or exempt. Basic food items, they are 0% VAT. Rent is exempted. Education services and materials is 0% VAT. Let's say you buy educational materials, you're not supposed to be charged VAT on your educational materials, because sometimes when you go to buy some of these educational materials, you're charged VAT. No, but you're not supposed to. So you need to understand that when you buy educational materials, it is actually VAT exempted. So let's continue. 32, health and medical services. So these are VAT exempted. Pharmaceutical products, 0% VAT. So let's say you go to buy pharmaceutical products, you are not supposed to be charged VAT on your pharmaceutical products. And 34, small companies, like I said, 100 million turnover are exempted from charging VAT. So you're a small company, you're not to charge VAT to other companies. Like maybe somebody has a transaction with you, you're not to charge VAT from them, as long as you your revenue, your annual revenue is up to is 100 million naira less, you don't charge VAT. 35, diesel, petrol, solar power equipment, they are VAT suspended or exempted. Now 36, refund on VAT on assets and overhead to produce VATable or 0% VAT goods and services. 37, agricultural inputs, fertilizer, seeds, seedlings, feeds, and live animals, tax VAT exempted. So you need to, when you're listening to this list, you know which one of them you fall under, and then you know that okay, you know, you are VAT exempted. Purchases, lease or hire of equipment for agri purposes. You purchase or you lease or you hire equipment for agri purposes. These equipment are actually VAT exempt. Disability aids, hearing aids, wheelchairs, they are all VAT exempted. Transport, shared passenger, road transport, non-charter is VAT exempted. So what does that mean? So if you need hearing aids, wheelchairs, they are all VAT exempted. Transport, shared passenger, road transport, non-charter is VAT exempted. So what does that mean? So if you take Uber, Uber is actually VATable because that is charter. So it's actually VATable. Electric vehicles and parts of electric vehicles, they are exempted from paying VAT. Humanitarian supplies exempted. Baby products exempted. So if you buy baby products, so you shouldn't be charged VAT. So you need to check the invoices that you're given, like, you know, are you charging me VAT on baby products? No, you shouldn't. Sanitary towels, pads, and tampons, no VAT. Land and building. Let's look at stamp duties. Yeah, some of the stamp duties exemptions. Electronic money transfers below 10,000 naira, you don't charge stamp duties on them. Salary payment, you don't charge stamp duties on them. 48, intra-bank payments. Say, for example, I'm transferring money from First Bank to First Bank, I'm not to be charged stamp duties. 49, transfers of government securities or shares. 50, all documents for transfer of stocks and shares. Now, these 50 items are actually, you know, tax exempted or 0% VAT on them. So you need to understand, okay, what categories you fall into, and understand where you come in. If you're into agricultural products, you know, VAT, you have tax holiday, like, you know, agricultural production for the first 5 years, and let's say you're purchasing agricultural equipment, you know, those ones, they don't have VAT to be charged on them. And small companies, your turnover is 100 million and less, you're not to charge VAT, and you're also not to be charged VAT. Now, these are two different things, and as well as withholding taxes. So with all this now, you now know you're now equipped with the right information as a business owner and as an individual on how your tax reliefs and how you can actually make good use of these new tax reforms. So please like, comment and share to anyone, to your business, to business owners, to your friends. Let them know this 50 list of items that are actually tax exempted or 0% VAT, so that, you know, we can all be guided accordingly. Thank you. Till I come your way next time. Bye bye.